All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. Sunday night, late December, NorCal Sports Network, and little Giants baseball for you tonight. So join in. And Los, good to see you.
Good to see you. We're almost in 2025.
Almost there. Hey, everybody, let's thank our sponsor of the show, Chapman Law Group. If you need any legal needs, give Chapman Law Group a call. They're at 415-613-9483. Give them a call. All right, Los. Why is our deal in black? Let's change that to red. There we go. All right. So we get into the show. We talked about what's the Giants' next move, Los. I'm thinking maybe the next move ought to be go to the Korean League.
Can they apply for the Venezuelan League? So we can go down to Venezuela and watch some Latino baseball where they actually let you play with emotion. I'm down with that.
Yeah. Hey, Clayton, good to see you.
Yeah, it just seems like it's almost heading towards another offseason of maybes and teases and would've, could've, should've. Although they have Adames, he's a nice piece, but a lot more is needed. And Burns, Burns was just that's a kick to the gut or lower. So they're gonna have to recover, and they're gonna have to decide what we always talk about on the show is if you feel like you can't do anything more to really be a contender, then it's okay. It's okay. Maybe just focus on the youngsters, maybe make a few trades with some of your veterans and get even more youngsters in here and pull a San Jose Sharks where you just, rebuild. And that's okay. Our fan base will understand it and they will accept it. But if they try to force it and maybe get another veteran and overpay for him and still settle for a fourth-place finish, that to me is not smart.
Absolutely. Have some comments out there about Pete Alonso. Clayton asked me about Pete Alonso. At first I wasn't so high on it because I thought they were going to get Burns and they needed to put their money there. And now that they don't have Burns, they're not going to be able to score any runs. And this pitching staff, they're going to need help. And I got I have a text from Matthew, and he let me just read it here. He texted me today about, I got to find it here. Matthew, he texted me this morning, and I see him. One sec here. I have hundreds of texts, literally. They just are.
Gotta delete them as they go.
I try, yeah. Yeah, okay. He said, I just did a little research on Alonso. This is from Matthew, and he's right here in our chat. Says, I'm kind of worried about the teasing happening in the offseason too. Lots of talk and not a lot of follow through. Yeah. But he said, did a little research on Alonso. He had a career 610 slugging He has a career 610 slugging percentage, 910 OPS, and 7 home runs in 75 plate appearances at Oracle. I think his bat would actually play there. It looked like only about 2 of the homers he hit last season wouldn't have made it out of Oracle last season. So that's not bad. That's not bad. Maybe they get Alonso, go for something like that. But we got to acknowledge all our haters too. We have a
we have haters.
I have a hater, lover of California. Hey, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. He says, Dodger Dan is not the man. He posts probable falsehoods. Be very careful. I think you're talking about this guy, aren't you? Yeah, be careful of that guy.
That's Dan's twin.
That is my twin brother
Yeah,
you're
that's-
talking about, lover of California. Be careful in confusing my brother Don and me, Dan. Okay?
I was gonna go with Sam, but I like yours better.
Yeah. So just be very careful there, lover of California. That's my brother Don, okay? All right. Now that we got that straightened out, welcome, lover of California, to the show. All right. Let's see what else we got.
Anthony Merkovich. No more Ryan, please.
Wait. Where is that? Hey, Dan, no more Ryan. Yeah.
Ryan's a good kid.
Yeah.
He just gets hyper and gets caught up into his things, so it's all good.
Yeah. Anyway, what do we got? Well, at least Buster didn't lie much like Farhan would a lot. In other words, really hype up the moves that it will never happen. Yeah, he never promised what they would do. He did say they were going to look for a shortstop, and he got the shortstop first.
During the season last year, we were talking about the teams that drafted the best and had the best minor league systems, and I think Baltimore was right at the top of the list. Does that sound right? The Orioles?
Yeah.
And there was a few other teams as well. And I bring them up because you notice the teams that have a very strong farm system and draft well, they're not into much for free agents, because you build your core of your team by drafting well. And when you're forced, and Farhan and his regime did not draft well, they're forced to have to overpay for free agents or have these, so many teases come up where they are close but don't quite get somebody. And when you have a strong farm system, you can just bring up young guys and just let them develop. And I think that is the next phase for Buster. I mean, getting a better team on the field for 2025 is great. But the more important thing for us, I think, at this show and consistently has been is let's draft better. Let's get good players in here. And I know it's not easy. Baseball's probably the hardest sport to scout for and actually find good players. But other teams are better at it than some. So, I've always been an advocate of trying to get those scouts here with the Giants that have those better eyes and get it built that way.
Yeah, they got to draft better. Hopefully Posey's going to do that. The problem is you're not going to do that great if you're constantly drafting in the middle of you take a look at baseball's draft. Not many people, there's always a few stragglers at the end of the first round, middle of the first round, second round, third round that actually become stars. But for the most part, the guys that really become stars are your top 10 picks in the league. They're the guys that just seem to, every now and then it happens. I mean, we saw it with Gunnar Henderson. He was a late pick. I think he was a early second round pick.
God, he might have, second or third round. Mike Piazza was in the 29th round or 60. Yeah, you're right. It was a ridiculous round. So those are a dime a dozen. But I asked Ned Colletti that when he was on the show last month. And I remember him giving me the answer, but I guess it was something in the collective bargaining that you can't trade and move up in the draft. If you're a middle of the rope pack team, then you're drafting 15, 16, 17, 18. No, you can't say, hey, we're going to dangle Logan Webb and move up into the top 5 and then draft a Paul Skeens. Woo! Can you imagine Paul Skeens in a Giant uniform?
Did you say Logan Webb?
Logan Webb.
This guy?
Love the support. You got to love the support.
62, man. Logan, we got you covered right here, man. All right. See, guys, why I wear a hat, right? Got to keep the reflection down off the camera. So
I agree with you, Turd. I agreed with you. The Niners do have a difficult time in the early rounds.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button, everybody. That would be very helpful to the channel. It does push the channel out more. So like and subscribe. We do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Los, this team, you look at it, They missed out on Burns. It's Webb, Ray, Harrison, the two lefties, and Birdsong and Jordan Hicks. I mean, are they going to wise up and move Hicks to the bullpen and bring in a Wisenhunt or a?
I was going to say, has anybody heard anything on Wisenhunt? It's been a lot of noise about him, and what I've studied about him is he has a plus changeup that is ready for the majors right now. But he was kind of dinged up last year, so maybe he's a sleeper that can. I always say there's always a few young guys that come to spring training and they do real well, and they're the surprise of camps. And maybe they'll break camp this time and not be sent right back down, like the previous regime would do. So yeah. Will that make them contenders? Probably not. But baseball, you want to have at least hope for the future, and you want to see some signs of some younger guys stepping up. Maybe when Wade Meckler will have another 10 pounds of muscle added to what he added last year, Dan, when we saw him and like, who's that dude? Oh crap. That's Wade Meckler. He was $155 last year. So, because that kid can put the bat on the ball and he can hit which the Giants need.
Israel says, we think we have the best rotation in baseball. This was far on last year. That's why we didn't trade Blake Snell. Clowns. I saw Mike O had a comment in here about should they sign. Here it is. What do you think about signing? Oh, it is Notre Dame, huh? Nice.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. What's their marching song? What is it? Dun,
great.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. One of the top. We had that discussion. Best college fight songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you feel about Tanner Scott having a bully bullpen? Tanner Scott with the Padres got traded to the Padres last year. He's a free agent. It's never bad idea to have too much pitching. I'd rather find too much excess pitching in the bullpen and trade away some of the excess, or, when injuries happen. I mean, Tanner Scott could help your bullpen.
Yeah, the chat's mentioning Landon Root, who has a nice curveball.
Yeah.
And I liked what I saw from him. So, we got to remember that we see flashes with kids and again, emphasize the eye test. We look at the stuff and we go, wow, that's intriguing. To me, Birdsong has really, really Major League Baseball stuff. He's got a plus fastball, 95, 97, and he's got some nasty out pitches. So hopefully he takes the next step. I really think, Dan, there's going to be two youngsters in our rotation this year. I don't know which two, but I think there's going to be two, and hopefully they take the next step.
Hey, Vince makes a great point here. I mean, we've been talking about this. Why sign Chapman and Adames only to use an unproven thin starting rotation? I love the word unproven, Vince. I did a video the other day, talked about the Giants starting rotation. It's unproven beyond Logan Webb. Look, Harrison hasn't proven himself yet. Birdsong, he was a rookie, didn't full season, had some really good moments, but also had some moments that, control, command, being able to go deeper into games. So you had Birdsong, Harrison. Hicks, very unproven. You don't know what you're going to get. And then Robbie Ray, who knows if he's going to come back and be what Robbie Ray before his Tommy John injury. So you got one proven starter. You sign Adames, you let all the pitching get scooped up. There is still Jack Flaherty out there. There is trade potential out there. There's Luis Castillo. I've heard his name bantered around out there with Seattle. I mean,
as a trade, he's on the trading block. Ooh,
some people have had his name out there on the block. I don't know what they should do. What do you think?
Well, we talked about the Padres having a fire sale, but then there's that whole stigma of, they don't trade within the division, which I feel is a little bit overrated. I think if the right deal is made, it can be done. So, a guy like Arias, a guy like Dylan Cease, I don't know if they'd be willing to move off of him. He's pretty much their ace. But
there's guys a free agent, but I don't know. He is going to be a free agent after this year.
There's guys out there for sure.
Glenn Northern Lights Entertainment says, Dan, I hear everyone is saying the Giants pitching staff is better than our staff last season. I don't know who's saying that, but that's crazy because you lost Snell, and I don't know what you're going to do. What am I missing? You're not missing anything there, Glenn. I don't see how this team is better. Yes, you improved a little bit in WAR and offensive efficiency at shortstop with Adames, but you also lost Blake Snell and you lost Conforto, who had a positive WAR last year. So, you look at the offense, maybe there's an uptick if guys come through, but pitching, you have nobody proven except this guy, as I mentioned. That's it. Logan Webb. That's the only guy. And I don't understand the mentality, Lowe's. I really don't get this. The one thing the Giants can do is sign free agent pitching. Why you wouldn't focus on that? And, okay, you got Adames early. You probably overpaid a little bit. Okay, but you needed somebody to be an everyday shortstop. So you got that. You fill your left side of the field with $300 million, basically, your infield. Now, why would you not go out and fortify your pitching? You let Blake Snell go. You let Kevin Gausman go a few years ago. You let Carlos Rodon go. You've let all these guys go, and you're talking about – whenever I hear somebody say we believe in our young pitching, that tells me because you have to. You don't have any choices is what you're saying.
You don't have any choices, correct.
What you're saying is we didn't go out and get anybody because we believe in these young guys. Come on. Seriously?
And the comment earlier – about signing Chapman and Adames and having a very expensive left side of the infield. Me and Dan have been on record saying that, we like Chapman. He's solid. We don't think he's a superstar. We wouldn't have gone in that direction and paying him the amount of money that they did. But that being said, let's just say they didn't sign Chapman and they had this extra money. I want to ask you, Dan, and the chat, if we did lose Burns because we did not give him an opt-out, do you agree with that or you disagree with that? Because I'm honestly torn. I kind of honestly like Buster putting his foot down and not being bullied by the player and bullied by the what's the word? The person that represents them, the agent. I guess is it Scott Boras that represents?
Yes,
or no?
Boras.
Okay, so Boras again, always doing opt-outs and not having a guy be here long term. So in one sense, I like that Buster said, no, we're not going to give you an opt-out and just have you leave after 2 years, which was better than 1 year, which is what they've been getting. But at the same time, if that's what you needed to give, you would have had, I think they would have had Corbin Burns here if they would have gave the opt-out. So,
well, it's interesting you bring that up because I'm mixed too. I get it. You don't want to be constantly having your team moved around, but I would have tried to negotiate that in such a way where I say, okay, after the second year, we'll give you the opt-out, but that's if it's a mutual buyout with both parties after 2 years. In other words, we're going to give you $35 million a year. But if you want to leave after 2 years, you're going to have to buy yourself out of the contract for $15 million. And we have the same option. We'll give you $20 million if we want to buy it out, if we're done with you. And then there's a little compromise there. It makes the guy say, well, I really want to leave because you're not competitive. I got to cost me $15 million or maybe $10 million. Just something where he has a little skin in the game. I know that's not done, but you know what? You can negotiate that. And the other thing I would like to say about this whole thing with the opt-out, if you logically look at this, if you think you're going to be a championship contender within the first 2 years of signing Corbin Burns, don't you do it?
Yeah.
Or aren't you sending a message in a way that says, we don't think we're ready to compete with you right now. Therefore, we think we don't want you to walk away from us after 2 years just when we're getting competitive. I mean, if I think Burns is a missing piece to getting me into the playoffs, and I just need maybe one other piece, I can go out and make a trade for a bat, or I could go sign Santander as well, or I could sign Alonso. Why wouldn't you sign Burns for 2 years to maybe he loves it here? I really think Burns wanted to pitch in Arizona. And I think Mrs. Burns had a huge role in that. And the reason is they just had twins and they live in Scottsdale. And the importance of taking care of twins. Now, yes, he can hire whoever he wants. He can hire an army to take care of the family, right? But there's nothing like, we've all had young kids, not all of us, but some of us know what it's like. Those first couple years and to double that with twins. Now the fact he could be home the first 2 years of their life, watch him grow up much more, because baseball players are on the road every week. And if he's living in San Francisco, he's gone the whole 6 months.
$2 to $4 million gets you a whole lot more house in Scottsdale than it does in San Francisco.
That's true.
But that's another story for another day. But if that is the case, and that's a great point, I'm honestly okay with Buster doing that. I'm okay. Yeah. I'm very pro.
I get it.
I'm very pro management these days with players' contracts. I don't like how they're bullying all sports and just like laying down the law. Like you have to pay. I mean, we're talking about Brock Purdy when we talk Niners and even when you're not playing well, you're deserving max and you get max and you get to opt out and you get all the leverage and Juan Soto throws in a sweep. I just would like to see teams and management take over a little bit of power, not completely, but it'd be a little bit more balanced, because right now it's too much with the players. And again,
I think you can do that in some cases. I think teams are stupid when they just cater to everything.
Yep.
Like there's I'm going to be doing a video maybe the next day or two on the worst, on the pending doom of some top 10 worst contracts that are going to come back to maybe bite some people as early as 2026. There's some bad contracts that teams sign.
I think that's a great one. I hope to be a part of that one. I think when pro sports went to guaranteed contracts, there's just something about that. We've mentioned it a few times before. Mentally, when you're getting guaranteed money, you just don't quite have that hunger, especially today's player to be great. They know if they have an off year, I'm still getting paid. If I have another off year, if I get injured, I'm still getting paid. And I understand that the union did their job, but it's gotten out of control. Even the real estate market at some point crashed in 2008. When our player contract, if it keeps going this way, Dan, pretty soon we're going to have our first $1 billion contract, 10 years, $1 billion, $100 million a year. It's coming. And if you don't think as fans that you're going to pay for that, you're missing the boat. You are going to pay for it. You're muted.
As soon as the fans stop showing up, and because the prices get too out of hand, there'll be a change. But let's address Robert real quick. He's got 2 comments. First, he says, you're way too negative on this team. Why can't these players be productive? And then he follows that up with, the reality is this team is capable of contending. Los, you want to take those 2 questions?
Yeah, gladly. Robert, good to hear from you. We have been down this road before many times. We love your optimism. But just in the context of the division, for the Giants to contend, they would have to have the Dodgers, the Padres, and now the D-backs have a lot of guys have off years, and the Giants players would all have to have career. You're asking for a 2021 to happen all over again. You're asking for the margin of what's the word I'm looking for? The phrase I'm looking for.
Hey, Johnny.
The margin of difference with the Giants, because their talent is right now average at best. Could Landon Root be a really good pitcher? Yeah, he could. Could Wisenhunt get healthy and be a really good pitcher? Yeah, he could. But when you look at the lineup is so far behind the Padres and the Dodgers as far as a team that can be, scoring consistent runs, that they're just not. They could contend for the first. I could see the Giants coming out and playing well for the first month or two and getting people's hopes, like Roberts,
Tough
high
schedule.
again.
Tough
Yeah.
schedule, those.
Yeah. But even if they add a player or two, they're the fourth best team in the division right now as far as just talent goes. So yeah, they could play well and play at the top of their capabilities. But Robert, you have to see what else is in the division. You can't just see, well, if the Giants all play well, they should contend for the division. Do you know who's in our division? You have to understand that. You have to see who else is in our division, and they're just better right now. And that's okay to admit.
Right. Hey, guys, just a little note here. We've got quite a few people here watching. I want to thank everybody. We have surpassed the 4,000 sub mark. Did it Friday night, late Friday night, early Saturday morning, and now we're up to 4,047. And because of that, we're going to do a giveaway, but we're not going to do it tonight. We'll probably do it Tuesday night, which is New Year's Eve. So it'll be early, so you could still get to your party. Maybe you'll win these Giants tickets. I don't know if we'll do it New Year's Eve or New Year's Day in the evening.
Day.
I'm not sure.
Maybe.
What do you think? Huh?
Maybe. Well, there's two thoughts of that. In the evening, people are going to be out, possibly. And in the day, people could be too hungover.
No, I mean New Year's. I mean New Year's Day in the evening, like New Year's, like 7:45, our regular. You think New Year's Eve or New Year's Day?
New Year's Day in the evening. Give them a whole day to recover.
Yeah, we'll give you some. Yeah, if you're hungover, you might. Hey, you know what? If you're hungover and you win these Giants tickets, you might not even know what the heck happened, and you'll probably be glad. If you win Giants tickets, you'll be like, "Dang." So let's do New Year's Day. I'll be gone. Dan Ryan says, yeah, we'll do New Year's Day. That'll be Wednesday night, 7:45. It'll be, a lighthearted show. We'll give away some tickets to start the new year. And who knows? Maybe we'll have something happy to celebrate New Year's Day. Maybe with the New Year's comes a power hitter. I don't know. Pete Alonso strikes out a lot, but at this point, I don't know what the Giants are going to do. What do you think they should do, Los? Should they make some trades? Should they just play the young guys? I mean, they've already committed to Chapman and Adames. You kind of threw your lane and you kind of said, okay, we're in the middle lane and we want to merge into the fast lane, but we don't know if we can get over there because these guys are flying past us. We need more firepower. What's the firepower to get us into the fast lane?
If they were in a different division, I might think, let's go in. But I'm leaning very strongly toward just let the kids develop, let the kids play. And 2025 will be a learning curve. These kids will get better. And then maybe 26, we get the talent that we need. Maybe the draft. We had a good draft last year. Eldridge may be our starting first baseman in 26. I don't know about 25. I know you and Bora have a bet, but Eldridge.
Bora's got him an opening day roster. I don't.
Okay, so Eldridge, let's say he's not quite ready this year, but let's say he blows up on the scene in 26. And I like that because right now, to me, the Giants are a little bit too right-handed oriented. I need a little bit more. I need a few more lefties in that bet. So if you get Alonso, that's another righty. And I know he's a hell of a player. But you need to have, if you want to contend, Robert Rothberg and everybody else, you need to have balance in your lineup. You need to have at least 3, preferably 4 lefties go right, left, right. And right now, I think they have 2 lefties in their lineup, Jung-Hoo Lee and Bailey. I don't see Yaz starting, and I hope to God he's not starting. So that's a very right-handed oriented lineup, and dominant right-handed pitchers will shut that down. So Eldridge would be a nice piece right in the middle of the lineup. I don't know if he's going to be ready in 25.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I want to go back to one sec here. I forgot I was watching the game before I got off the was watching the football game. Oh, whoa. This could be, yeah. Oops, let me turn that down. I was watching the game and then we got into our show here. This is a big game tonight. So, but Eldridge, what do you think of this comment by Turd Ferguson? Desperation overpay for Anthony Rizzo and Flaherty bound to happen. Do they?
Oh God, I hope not. Anthony Rizzo, Flaherty, I'm okay with. No, I don't want Rizzo.
Yeah, he's a lefty bat they don't have in the lineup. I guess they got Wade. I'd rather have Wade than Rizzo at this point.
Yeah, you might as well keep Wade because Rizzo's not going to give you much more than that. I'm trying to think of a lefty bat out there. Again, I just don't feel like free agent is going to like really move the needle. I feel like Buster needs to make a trade, something, if he really wants to make some noise. And it might have to be a few of our youngsters that we like a lot for a proven starter or a proven, preferably left-handed bat in the lineup. I don't know. We'll see. But it's early. We still have a few months before spring training.
Santander, I see.
He can play first base, can he?
He's an outfielder. I think he could probably play first base. I mean, heck, I think you and I could go out there right now and play some first base.
Yeah,
he should be able to play first base.
I can pick it.
They had Jock Peterson playing first base in spring training a couple years ago. Rizzo should be playing softball in the peninsula. Yeah, a lot of people like Santander, switch hitter with power, 44 homers last year. Not a great on-base percentage, but does have the power.
Dan, if the D-backs are going to move off of Jordan Montgomery, would you, if you were Buster, would you call them and see what you want for him?
If they're willing to pay for half the salary. That's $25 million or something, whatever he's making. I'm not taking that on. Yeah. I'm not taking that salary on.
I would call
Johnny Barstow says they should go after Alex Bregman. Bregman could play second base, but they're not going to do it simply because they want Tyler Fitzgerald. They got to figure out if he's an everyday player or not. And the more they stuff these young kids in backup roles, the longer they put off the longer they put it off, the inevitable. But, George Curry says he doesn't want Montgomery. Yeah, Montgomery stunk last year. Absolutely awful. We watched him get rocked when we went to that game.
You see, I'm a buy low guy, though. Let me tell you, George. I agree with you, but I've seen this too many times before where teams always go in on a player that had a great year last year, and they have nowhere to go but down. I mean, again, Blake Snell. I was one of the few guys that when they signed Blake Snell, everybody was like, "Oh man, we got the best pitcher in baseball. We got the immortal Blake Snell." And I was the guy that said, "Yeah, hold your horses. He's good, but he has those years where he has off years, and he turned out not to be a great investment."
He was awful the first
time. I know he pitched great for about 7 to 8 weeks, but let's not forget the first 8 to 10 weeks he sucked bad. I'll give you a Blockbuster trade right now on this show, Dan. Breaking news. The Giants go all in for Sandy Alcantara. He's coming back from
Alcantara.
Me and last names. That guy's coming off of Tommy John, but he's a year out from Tommy John. In fact, he's a year plus out.
Yep.
I have listened to hitters talk, and when they ask who has got the filthiest stuff that you faced, his name comes up a lot. Now, the Marlins are not known to pay players long term, and the Giants, quite frankly, have more money than them. If the Marlins would be willing to take, and I know it's going to take a haul for them, if the Marlins are willing to take back quite a few prospects back, how about Sandy Alcantara in a Giants uniform as their ace? That's a bona fide one. Now Webb could be 2. I know it's a long shot, but hey, what the hell? Let's aim big.
Yeah, yeah. Alcantara's out there. Trevor Bauer, people are talking about. I wouldn't mind Trevor Bauer. Why? I don't know why you wouldn't give the guy a shot. So- what the heck? They called a pass interference with 2 seconds left. Are you serious? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, George, I'm with you. I'm with you. Montgomery had an off year, but I always bring up Seth Lugo. Not a guy on anybody's radar last year. When he signed with Kansas City, he was like, whatever, not a big deal. God, I think he was second or third in the Cy Young voting. I think teams have to just not necessarily look at stats. They got to look at a guy's stuff. For whatever reason, you take a guy that just has naturally good stuff, naturally good movement. Like, I'll give you an example. Oracle Ballpark's a big ballpark. So if you have a guy that's a fly ball pitcher, that he doesn't have a sinker, he doesn't have a lot of movement, he has a lot of fly balls. He induces a lot of fly balls. If he pitched at Houston's ballpark, or if he pitched in Colorado, and those fly balls went out of the ballpark, but then you sign him on a pretty cheap deal and you get him here, and those 360 fly balls are outs. They're not homers. That's smart, because you got a guy that isn't going to cost you a ton, and maybe he can give you 10 to 13 wins and maybe a 3.2, 3.5 ERA. I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar, but I'm saying he could be a solid guy that eats up innings in your rotation. And I think that's how baseball executives should look at things: is look at guys that maybe struggle. Maybe they had a pitching coach that wasn't. I've heard stories about this, Dan, before. Years ago, the Giants were trying to, I forget who the pitcher was, but they were insisting that he use a certain pitch, and it wasn't his best pitch. And he left and he blew up. The name escapes me who it was. But just sometimes you tweak this, you tweak that, you go to a different ballpark, you go to a different city, and things work out. So,
Yeah, see, I think the Giants missed out. Like the Royals last year went and signed Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha. They did it early in December. Everybody else was out, trying to do this, negotiate. Guys signed late. They went out and got guys that they could sign. I don't know. Look, arms that give you 6 innings, pretty good guys to have on your team nowadays. And I would have gone out and signed guys this year that were available. A couple guys, went out and did it. The A's went and signed Severino. If he's healthy, he's a pretty good pitcher.
I like that move. Nice move by the A's. Severino was filthy with the Yankees. And for parts with the Mets, he was as well. So yeah, guys like that just they have good stuff.
Now George is coming around because you talked about buying low, and if it's half the salary, I wouldn't pay his full salary. But
no, it has to make sense. Yeah, if they pay half his salary, I would almost bet if that move came here, I would put money on it that Montgomery would have a better season here. I'm not saying he's going to be a top 10 pitcher in the NL.
And if he's ready in the beginning of the season, he's there in spring training, he gets off to a fresh start. He was a good pitcher the year before, with St. Louis, and then he finished with the Rangers, was key to the Rangers World Series title. He pitched really good in the playoffs. I'm just saying that the Giants need some guys. What is this? It's the other way around. Giants brought in True, and they taught them the sinker, and they improved. Yes, that is true. Giants did help guys like Gausman get their career back in order. They helped the other players.
I think I was mentioning a previous regime, and I wish I could remember the name of the player. But yeah, you're right. There have been pitchers that have come here and blown up. Kevin Gausman is another guy. He was kind of a 500 pitcher. Always, but he's a perfect example. He always had great stuff. He just couldn't quite harness it. And then he came here, got with our pitching coach, got with the right ballpark, and blew up. So yeah,
let's just see what's available out there still in the free agent market and take a look.
Is there a knuckleballer out there, Dan? I've been clamoring for a
one with San Diego. Some guy. Now you look at the market. There's Pete Alonso. He's still out there. I don't know if they're going to sign him just because we are willing to sign Burns, which would have cost you your 3rd and 6th round picks and some international money. Same thing will happen if you sign Alonso. It looked like, Walker signed a really nice deal. 3 years, $20 million a year. He's just as good as Alonso in a lot of ways. And
that's a hell of a deal for Houston.
And I heard Alonso turned down 3 years, $90 million from the Mets. So
what do you think about a 1 year or 2 year deal for Rowdy Tellez at first base? He's, you know me, I'm not crazy about guys that don't have the greatest batting averages, but he has pop. And maybe he could hold the job until Aldridge takes it, and even if Aldridge,
he's a 1 year. He's signing a 1 year deal. If not, he may end up signing a minor league contract
because he is not that old.
He's only 30. He's only 30, right? Now, if we move to the pitching, well, we look at the outfielders that are available. You got Profar that's out there. You've got anybody else I see on that list I like? No.
Jesse Winker is a guy that I think has always had the potential to be a good hitter. He just hasn't quite put it together. But he's got a nice swing. Eddie Rosario. How old does Eddie Rosario? Go up a little bit?
33. Yep.
Man, he had one hell of a playoff run, but I guess, yeah. 2 weeks of hitting well gets you a 5-year deal. Pass.
Mike Tauchman signed with the White Sox. That's crazy. All right, so we look at the starting pitchers. Flaherty's out there. Kyle Gibson's out there. Verlander's out there. Charlie Morton, Andrew Haney, Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer, I'm just trying to think of somebody that might be good to sign that would give you some innings. Like Alex Cobb signed a 1 year deal with Detroit. Why can't the Giants go out and sign a 1 year deal with, I don't know. I might even take a 1 year deal if you get the right price on a Justin Verlander.
Is Mike Clevenger a lefty or a righty?
He's a lefty, I believe. Isn't he? Isn't Clevenger a lefty?
Wasn't he a few years ago, not that long ago, wasn't he like a top 5 pitcher? Did he have arm issues?
He was, yeah. Let's see.
Now see, that's the
he actually throws right-handed. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of another Clevenger from years past. Clevenger throws right.
Can you, if you have Clevenger, if you have his stats, could you put it up? I'm curious to see what he's done the last few years. Because I like to look at a guy that maybe, again, to George's point, didn't have a great year last year, but maybe 2 or 3 years ago they did.
Last year he only pitched in 4 games because he was injured. Let's see. Look at him in 23. 23. Yikes! Get out of there. Come on. All right. 23. He pitched. What are we doing here? Come on. What the heck is going on?
You had it perfect. Yeah, there you go.
23 pitched 131 innings. He started 24 games. He had an ERA of 3.77. It's respectable today. It's not great, but it's not above 4.
I'll tell you what I like about him right off the bat. This is something when I'm doing my, like, when I do my fantasy pitchers studying before my draft, I know a pitcher is pretty good when I look at his innings pitched versus his hits. If it's about the same, I'm not too interested. If it's more, I really am not interested. But if you look like right down the row, let's see, 131, 121, 114, 102, 126, 96. He always has.
He's under less hits than innings pitched, which is good.
Yeah, I like that. And Cleveland,
that's good for your whip.
Right. And let's see his strikeouts versus walks. Okay, I like him because look at his career: 819 strikeouts, 291 walks. So he's got pretty decent control. He's not too old. He's not going to cost you a ton.
Yeah,
And
he's probably a $10 million guy.
And while Cleveland is not exactly a hitter's park like, Houston or Colorado or, any of these, Philadelphia, Cincinnati, it's still a better hitter's park than Oracle. So he is the perfect guy, Dan, that I'm talking about, that is not going to, he's not a number one. He's not an ace, but he comes to this ballpark and, he's switching leagues. He could be a guy that could, have a Seth Lugo type of year and kind of surprise. So I like him. Clevenger.
Yeah.
2 years,
says,
2 years, 20 million. Let's do it.
Trade for Vladdy and sign Santander. That would be good. I don't know what it would take to get Vladdy. Quite a bit, I would think.
Yeah, George says that he's had good stuff. I remember his name for some reason. Look in 2019, he had a 2.71 ERA in the American League and a 3.02 the year before. So, and then 2020.
Yeah, he's only 33. Guys can bounce back. Look, those are the type of guys the Giants should be looking at right now.
Yeah,
I said 10 million. George says 8 million. Yeah, somewhere in that 8 to 10 million range. That's not going to cost you a lot. Giants need arms. Look, the Giants need arms, everybody. It's crazy because the last 2 years, we've got enough starting pitching. We got 5 or 6 guys. Well, yeah, then you end up exasperating them all because they all end up getting hurt and the bullpen gets overtaxed because none of them, and you end up throwing openers, like 3 out of your 5 starters are openers. How's that for starting pitching? Why not go and get, some solid backup guys? I don't want to see, look, what's the guy's name? Nice story, but do we need to see this again? What's the guy's name? Help me out, chat. The guy that pitched last year, Spencer
Strider?
No, he's on the Giants. I think his name was Spencer. In minor league history, and he comes up and he gets a start. And
you're talking about the kid that came up last year?
He's not even a kid. He's like in his 30s.
Oh,
first year. Bivens. Thank you, Dallas. Spencer Bivens. We don't need to sign guys like that. And those are our backups. That, you got to have more starters. And I like the idea of a solid bullpen too, Adrian. Absolutely. That's why guys like Tanner Scott would be interesting too. Okay. Oh boy, is he going to go in?
And if you sign a guy like Clevenger, then that leaves you money for another bullpen guy because Clevenger didn't cost you a lot. And I tell you, Buster Posey, if you're out there listening, if you do sign Clevenger, don't give him a 1-year deal. Give him at least a 2 or 3 year deal. And this is why. If you sign him to 1 year and he has a really good year, he's going to cost a shitload of money to come back. Give him 2 years, 18 mil. And if he has a good year, he has to come back and play at that $9 million a year contract. And so the reward is worth the risk. And if he flames out, he's not that expensive.
Right.
To me, that's
write it off. Yep.
That's what you're going to get on this channel because me and Dan are finance guys. We're not just going to give you like this guy's good and this guy's not good. We're going to give you the money aspect of it, but why it makes sense. So if you sign a guy like Clevenger or a guy that has a lot of potential, don't just give him a 1-year prove it deal because if he proves it, he's going to cost you a whole lot of money to come back and he's probably going to leave. So get him for at least 2, preferably 3 years. Clevenger is only 33 years old. So I like him. I'm going to keep an eye on that.
This game tonight's in overtime, and Washington's got the ball down to the 2-yard line. Boy, Jaden Daniels just took a shot. Did he get hit in the head? Let me see. Nope, in the back. Ooh, gosh, he got hit good.
Lorenzen's another guy, Aris 14. Yeah, he threw a no-hitter for the Phillies. Anybody that can throw a no-hitter's got pretty good, decent stuff.
Yeah. Bivens was not bad last year. He wasn't bad. He did, like you said, Dallas, 3.15 ERA in 50 innings. Not bad at all, but I just want to see, a few years ago, who was it? The guy that was pitching, he came from the Royals and he was a reliever and then they made him a starter and he was like the Giants' best pitcher for a while. Then he got hurt. I'm trying to draw. So who's the pitcher, starting pitcher? He pitched for the Giants in the 23 season. He was pretty good good pitcher for him. Like I said, he used to be a starter with Kansas City. And he came over, was going to be a 6th starter, but then he got moved up into the starting rotation.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Righty.
Threw a lot of sliders.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about. Yeah, I can't think of the name of him. Yeah, he was supposed to be like a bridge guy, either a 6th starter or a long reliever.
Right.
And he never really kind of panned out. I didn't think he had great stuff to begin with. But yeah, Clevenger, and then the guy that George just mentioned with the Phillies that just threw the no-hitter. Remember, Philadelphia is another hitter's ballpark.
Junis, so. Yeah, thank you. Jacob Junis, third
Lorenzen.
Jacob Junis.
Yeah, Jacob Junis. Lorenzen. So, yeah, there's can you put that pitchers list up again, Dan?
Yeah, let me do that real quick here. Do we have an overtime touchdown, or is it being reviewed?
Robbie Ray, I don't know what to expect from him. He relies a lot on his fastball. He doesn't throw a lot of off-speed stuff. If he's spotting his fastball, he can be on. But if he can't locate it, because he throws that pitch 80% of the time, he gets hit hard, man. He could have 4 really good starts, and then he can give up like 8 earned runs in 2 innings in one game.
All right, there's your pitchers again. Hey, Corbin Burns is available. Oh, wait, no, he signed with Arizona. Hey, Kikuchi, he's a guy I like. Oh, he signed early with the Angels. Hey, Max Fried. Oh, that's a long deal.
Andrew Haney is another interesting guy. Can you pop up his stats? I want to say he's with Texas.
He was with the Dodgers recently too. Let me pull up.
And I want to say he's a lefty too.
Yeah, he is a lefty for sure. I know Haney's a lefty for a fact.
I like lefties in the rotation. I like balance, if you haven't figured that out already. But I'm curious to see what Haney's stats were. Because
asking you shall receive. High ERA, 31 games started, 160 innings pitched, 159 strikeouts. I think he's going to have more average a hit an inning is my guess.
Okay, yeah. Let's leave that go up a little bit. Yeah, right there. Let's see his career. Okay, again, a guy that pitches in Texas, hitter's ballpark. Okay, take a look at keep it right there. Keep it right there.
All right,
okay, he didn't pitch a lot of innings with the Dodgers, 72 innings. But look at his ERA when he pitched in the National League, 3.10. Okay, that's just something to keep an eye on. Then he goes to Texas. It's a hitter's ballpark. Let's be real. It's a hitter's ballpark. And he has, 4.15 and a 4.28 ERA. Okay, not great. I think you shave a half to maybe 0.65 pitching at Oracle. If I remember correctly, like he's got some wicked stuff.
And he throws. He's going to give you 150 innings roughly. You need guys that can give you 150 innings. The Giants don't have that. Look, they don't have it. Harrison hasn't done it. Hicks hasn't done it. Birdsong hasn't done it. They need guys that can. And Bora, there it is. Bora just put that in there. Innings eaters are valuable. Absolutely.
I completely agree.
They don't have guys that eat any innings.
The last 2 years, one of the constant themes that we have said on this show is the Giants don't have a rotation to go deep into games other than Webb. And they're going to kill their bullpen by July or August. We have said that repeatedly. So, again, are the Giants going to learn their lesson? Are they actually going to have pitchers that can go deeper into games so they're not killing their bullpen game after game? So, this is an innings-eating guy, as is Clevenger. They're veterans. They've been around the block. And that way you don't have to rely on these young guys that even if they're good, even if Wisenhunt's good, even if Harrison comes around, and even Birdsong, who I love, if they're only going to give you 90 to 110 innings, then and they're starting to fall apart by August, which is hilarious to me because I grew up in an era where Doc Gooden was 19 years old and he pitched 200 innings right off the bat. So this crap about not being able to pitch many innings, I don't know what the hell has happened to people's arms nowadays.
That's an excellent idea, George. Excellent idea. The A's have to get to 100 million. Ray is signed for 2 years. Go trade. They have to get. A's have to sign more guys with money to keep the, the deal they had with the union and the owners. They have to spend so much money. All that revenue sharing they were getting, they promised they would spend money, and Fisher pocketed it and didn't put it into the team. Now there's possible penalties they're facing, and Rams won the division, Dan. Commanders won. Yeah, Commanders won. I don't know how that affects the Rams. Maybe it had something to do with strength of schedule. I'm not sure. Trade Robbie Ray and Yaz to the A's. Gives them more room. That would give them $34.5 million more money. Give some room to go get Flaherty and Santander. Yeah, because that would give $41 million they have right now. That would give them $75 million to still stay under the luxury tax. Santander could be signed for in the 20s range. He's going to get Teoscar type money, I would imagine.
How much is Flaherty going to cost, Dan?
Probably
per
in
year.
the 23 to 25 range, I'm thinking.
Let me put you on the spot right now. You ready?
Yeah.
With Dan Cochemilio, GM of the Giants, would you rather have Jack Flaherty at $22 million, or would you rather have Haney and Clevenger for a total of $18 million for both pitchers? Flaherty at $22 million, give or take, or would you rather have two pretty proven starters and innings eaters and not bad pitchers, and one or both of them could do better at Oracle for less money? Two pitchers for the price of one. Would you rather take would you rather take Flaherty, or would you rather take those two guys?
I'm taking Jordan Hicks. No, I would take the two pitchers. I would take the two pitchers because Flaherty's had some.
He's been up and down,
and some issues, and he's moved around a lot too.
Yeah,
for a young guy.
Let's not get caught up again. And this is what fans do, and I think GMs do. They get caught up in a guy that has a great postseason run, whether it's hitting or whether it's pitching. They're great for 3 to 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, in the spotlight. They're like, wow, that's great, man. And then they come over and they're just a bust. I would rather have, again, we just saw Clevenger and Haney's stats. Not overwhelming. But again, coming to Oracle and coming to that ballpark, you can get both of them for reasonable prices. They'll eat up innings. Because if you put all $22 million into Flaherty and he turns out to be a bust or he gets hurt, that's money right down the drain. So I like the two pitchers rather than one.
I agree.
And Dan agrees.
And I lost today, guys. I lost in my football pool. I'm in my survivor pool. I did not survive. I'm bummed. 22-1.
So close, like the Giants was with Burns.
I was close. I was so close. I blew it on Thursday night, but moral of the story.
George Curry does not agree with us, and that's fine. That's fine. We don't expect people to agree with everything we say, so that's fine. We're in here for good, honest, good debate.
George says he would get his ass ripped, which is possible.
And it's possible that he may not. We don't know. But let him come over to the National League, and I'll be keeping an eye on Haney, and I'll be checking in with you, George, here and there.
Well, we got a super chat here from MM Forever. Thanks for the $2. What's the plans to bend over? What's the plans to bend over to the National League West? That's the plan.
More or less.
Bend over and don't as I said don't bend over to pick up your soap, right?
Is Sean Manaea still out there? Manaea?
No, he re-signed with the Mets. 3 years, $75 million. He cashed in.
We had him here, and they messed him up by going back and forth, bullpen starter.
Yep, they messed him up. Farhan.
Okay, he's a perfect example of a guy. Remember I said don't sign Clevenger to 1 year? because the Mets signed Manaea to 1 year. He had a very good year, and now he's costing a lot. So give a guy that maybe is not a superstar, but you just think that he's going to be pretty good. Don't let him have a really good year, because then he's going to be overpriced. Give him 2-3 years and lock him up. That's my philosophy. Yeah. And if he busts, he costs you $8 million a year. Big deal. In today's economics, that's nothing.
Yeah, Robbie Ray, 23 million, Alex. I think he's 25, actually. 25 million for Ray. Look, let's close the show out here shortly, here in the next 5 minutes. Is there a trade that I could put together that makes sense? Is there anything that
something
would
more
make
realistic
sense?
than my Sandy Alcantara, which was really a blockbuster and won't happen? But yeah, let's do something kind of realistic.
Alcantara might not be a bad deal.
Oh, he's so filthy.
Let me just see what it would cost the Giants to get Alcantara. All right, so we've got. Oh, wait a minute. Sign in. Okay, I'm not logged in here. Okay, give me 1 minute while Los carry on with something there.
Hopefully it automatically populates, because that's one pet peeve of mine. You haven't gone to a website in a long time. You think your password's automatically in there, and it's not. And you're like, okay, let me type in this. That doesn't work, and then you got to reset passwords drive me nuts. But anyway,
I know, I hate them too. All right,
I digress.
We got the Giants and the Marlins. And we want Sandy Alcantara from the. Whoa, he's still got value. Wow. I didn't realize that.
He's a superstar.
Still got value. All right. So the Giants would have to trade for 46. We've got to have to trade.
How much is he? Can you share the screen?
I'm going to get to it here. Well,
okay.
I'll pull it up here. Let me share it here, and I'll show you what I'm doing here. This is not 100% accurate, but it gives you an idea. All right, so I got Alcantara up there. He's got 46 value of a surplus. So now we look at the Giants surplus. You see Webb there at 71, Eldridge 41, Adames, then Bailey, Harrison, Ramos, Fitzgerald, Ryan Walker. You're probably, to go get Alcantara, they're going to want an arm or two, young arms. So
they're going to want Birdsong back.
They're going to want, let's see if we can do this with Wisenhunt. That's only 8. And you're probably going to have to go with, let's give him a young Walker Martin. He's blocked for quite a while with Adames. Let's do Walker Martin. Come on. Marlins. And how about another arm? Let's go Roop.
Go up a little bit. There's
you could give Harrison.
I would give up Harrison. Harrison has a lot of hype on him. I don't see it, but he could get better. I would give that
there
up.
You go.
I would give that up all day. The Marlins probably won't. They're going to probably.
They might because of the money. There's your trade, guys, right there.
They cannot afford Alcantara.
Yeah. Alcantara or Alcantara.
They can't afford Sandy.
Yeah. But there's your trade right there, guys. Wisenhunt, Walker Martin, and Kyle Harrison. But I don't know if you want. I wouldn't give up Wisenhunt and Harrison. So let me take Wisenhunt out of the deal, and let me find like Mason Black.
Would you throw in Matos?
No, not yet. I want to do Matos for something. If I'm giving up Harrison, I want to see if Matos can play. If I'm giving up Matos in a separate deal for somebody, maybe.
Would you throw in Grant McCray?
Yes, I would. There is a deal right there. I would, because he's blocked. And the Marlins might like that. Okay, so there you go. That is perfect value. Walker Martin, Kyle Harrison, and Grant McCray. They get 2 players that are ready to play pretty much major leagues, and Walker Martin's like 3 years away. What do you guys think, chat? Would you do that trade?
Whew, all day. Sandy's a bona fide Cy Young.
Yeah, I agree, Kyle. That's why I took. I didn't even see your comment till now, but I took Whisenhunt out because I realized Harrison and Whisenhunt. You got to keep one of them. They're both lefties. You got to keep one.
I'd rather keep Whisenhunt.
All right, there we go.
I
Trades made.
I think the Marlins would counter maybe for another pitcher, either Roop or Birdsong to get the deal. Because I mean, we're talking about Kyle Harrison, who didn't look that great. McRae has some unique talent, but he strikes out a ton. And Walker Martin is a few years away for a bona fide stud.
He won the Cy Young a couple years ago, didn't he?
He's filthy.
Yeah.
Go watch film on him. He's filthy. The movement that he has at 98 to 100, and he's 6'5" or 6. He's a tall, lanky guy. Oh, I would love him in a Giants uniform. I think it would take more.
Now you're building your rotation.
Now you're building a rotation, and that's a guy that can throw some innings. Now he's coming off Tommy John, so maybe you don't throw him 8 or 9 innings the first few weeks of the season, but let his arm build up. And boy, him and Webb 1-2. That's nice. Let's
take a look at his stats real quick. Sandy Alcantara or Contra. I don't know how you say. I think it's Alcantara. Okay.
Well, I'm kind of more mystified at the first name. Like you're naming your son Sandy, but to each his own, I guess. How about growing up with that? How about being teased growing up with that name?
All right. He's only 27. He'll be 28, so he's still young. He's innings pitched before in the 23 season. 184 innings pitched. Look at what he did in 22, 228, 205, and 21. Wow, this guy is an innings eater. And his hits per innings pitched. Where's my hits? Oh, he's way under. Los, I'm just wondering, do you think he's more of a power pitcher, though, isn't he?
He is. He is.
And I'm wondering if those innings wore his arm out. There's only so many innings an arm has.
Is he a Dominican? Is he Cuban?
I thought he was Cuban. I think he's Cuban, if I'm not mistaken.
If he's Cuban, the Martinez brothers are going to love him. They're going to get his jersey. Cliff and Will. What's up, boys?
Let's see. He is, let me see. Sandy Alcantara, Dominican. He's Dominican.
Okay. Oh, well. Cliff and Will. Oh, well. I'd still get his jersey. He's nasty. He is nasty. But these are the and Ryan, I saw a chat from Ryan. Why would we get another guy coming off of Tommy John? Because when you're the Giants and when you've been kind of closer to last place than first place, you have to take risks like this. If you don't take risks like this, no risk it, no biscuit, then you're just going to stay in your center lane. Could it blow up on you and could he blow out his arm again? Yeah. But those other 3 guys that we're trading are not going to win you, get you to the playoffs. This guy, if he pitches like he used to, which is very possible, technology, you can come back from Tommy John. He's 28, guys. He's not Robbie Ray, who's what, 34, 33?
No, Ray's not that old. I think Ray's 32?
I'm guessing. I thought he might be a little older, but Sandy's 4 years younger than him. And quite frankly, he's a lot filthier.
Robbie Ray is 33. Robbie Ray's 33. So he's
5 years older than him.
Okay, so let's take a look at Kotz real quick and see what kind of money he's making and when he's a free agent, because that'll tell you if Miami's ready to move. They don't get guys if they want to get rid of him before they get to arbitration. Actually, Miami.
Does it say what his contract status is right now?
I'm going to look at it right here. Alcantara's making $17.3 million next year, and the same in 26. And then he's actually signed. So he did a 5-year, $56 million deal. So he's got a club option in 27. So yeah, he's definitely going to cost. That's why his value's higher. That's why he had a value of 40, whatever, 6. Otherwise,
so think about this. If you get him, You have Webb on the books for about $17 million a year. And if you get him, Sandy's at $17 million a year. For the going rate for starting pitching, like really quality starting pitching, for the Giants to have their 1-2 guys at $17 million a year, wow, that is a blockbuster. Handle it, Buster. I'll give you my number, man.
There we go. We just put together a trade for you, Buster.
Yep.
We got Alcantara coming to the Giants for Kyle Harrison, Walker Martin, who not going to give much for the Giants for the next few years, and he's blocked, and Grant McCray. And if you want to throw in another pitcher like Mason Black, we'll do that for you. All right. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us tonight. We're going to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. 49er football tomorrow night, guys. We got Los, you're going to be able to join us for a little bit of 49er football post game.
What's your score prediction?
I've got the Lions winning 38-24.
I have 40-13 Detroit. 40-13. Okay. They're going to blitz the crap out of that third string offensive line. It's not going to be. It's not going to be very pretty.
Yeah, they may not get 24. Let me rephrase. I wanted to say 3 touchdowns. Let's make it 2 touchdowns. Let's go 2 touchdowns for 38-17.
Why Purdy is playing behind that line tomorrow, I have no idea. But
hey, you know what, Los? As long as the Lions win by 4 or more, I'm happy.
So am I.
Because I got some.
We got some secure money on it.
We got some secure money. So, all right, guys, join us tomorrow night. Probably look for us. We may go live in the fourth quarter, carry it on into the post game after that, do a little talk while the game's going on live, or we'll just come on afterwards. And then, of course, I'll join the Krug Show after about an hour and a half after the game, because Larry will be covering in the post-game presser. So it takes a while to get back on. So we'll do our own here on NorCal Sports Network. Cliff Martinez, final comment of the night, says if you're trading for Alcantara, make sure they include La Cocina. Cocina? Cocina. Okay, is it Cocina or Cocina? Yeah. Presented by Goya Food Stand. Need some Cuban sandwiches at Oracle Park. All right.
Cuban sandwiches are the best.
All right. Do we have 100 likes out there? Hey, everybody, on your way out, if you would do that, that would be awesome. Hit the like button. It actually, the more likes YouTube sees, they send it out to more people. More people hear about NorCal sports. We get bigger. We add more guests. We do everything. Make it a better show. Thanks, guys, for watching. We will see you tomorrow night. 49ers, Detroit Lions postgame. Take care, everybody.